Am I the only one that's sick and tired of being sick and tired? Living in America, living in Canada, just if I were to summarize it, I'd say work, taxes, and ads, marketing, starting a business to make more money and get more taxed. I, I feel as though when I go to other countries, it seems as though they're living with less than we are, right? So I went to Benin, a country right next to Nigeria, next to Togo, and it's easy to kind of go to an area and think people are poor just because they don't drive the newest car, they don't have the newest iPhone, and they don't have designer clothes. But I ask myself, is wearing somebody else's name really a flex? Is it really something that we should be honoring as like wealthy? Because if something happens to tarnish that name, the same shirt you bought for $50 or $100 or $1,000, let's just assume it's Balenciaga, that value goes down to like nothing. And that's a big reason why I can't stand it here in America and Canada and countries alike. Everything is based off of fake value. When I say everything's made up of fake value, I mean when you look at inflation, you can't even keep what you have without it being diluted. You can't own a house without having to pay taxes for the property forever for something that you could have very well paid off. You can't buy a single house. It's always a single family home. So it means you either have to buy too much house or you have to buy a condo with condo fees. And the problem with condo fees is it keeps going up forever. And with the added cost every year of the condo fees, you can find yourself paying the price of a mortgage even once you've paid off the mortgage. Run that back. You could pay off your mortgage, pay off the loan to the bank, and find yourself with an equal amount of payment, which is to say the condo fee. And some people argue that they do things that, you would have otherwise had to pay for, like the roof and the snow removal. But like, I don't know. Yesterday's price is not today's price. And so I've decided I'm leaving Canada. I'm leaving Canada. I no longer see this place as a luxurious first world country that I should be proud to be in. I'll tell you what, I'm proud to have been born in Canada. That created an opportunity that's irrevocable and undeniable. But to say that I'm not disappointed in 2026 to be a Canadian would be false. And what I mean by that is people are divided, and they're more divided than they've ever been. And a big reason for that is the news. Most of my career, I've had to look at the news to find out, how my industry is doing and whether or not I'm going to have an employment. And when I went to my father's country, Benin, I just saw a different way of life. I saw less stress. I saw less of a hurry to go home after work. What I mean by that is sometimes I observe people in traffic and they get so angry at everybody in traffic and they're rushing, they're almost running red lights. And when they get home, they have nothing to do. They're just scrolling on TikTok. And so, I don't know, I'm realizing there's something more to life than kind of growing a pear-shaped body, working in an office, and consuming McDonald's, Burger King, or overpriced GMO food at the grocery store. I hate to be negative, but there's a certain point where the situation is negative and you're just reporting it accurately, right? You're not being negative. You're in a negative situation. You're in a negative predicament. And I think that's where a lot of us in Canada feel. A lot of us in the US, I say us, but us as in our neighbors, are feeling. And in the midst of all that, I feel there are people who want to look as though they're doing better than they are. And they do it because that's all they know. But in so doing, they're making it and they're normalizing essentially an unlivable situation. I'm realizing that there are certain countries where sacrifices need to be made to live in those countries. And I say sacrifices. For instance, if you want to go to Cuba, you got to bring spices. Okay, you got to bring spices. There are things they don't have. And you may be used to it, and your quality of life may diminish significantly without it. But when you calculate whether or not you're at a net positive in your life because you've created more time working in an area where the money goes further, or you find a way to leave Canada for, at least 6 months out of the year, or at the very least make it a goal. But that's where I'm at right now. I bought my one-way ticket. Today's July 5th, and I bought my one-way ticket for September to go to Benin and to try to create a new life, something that's different than I've ever known in Canada. And the reason why I say and the US is because a lot of what we consume in Canada is straight from the US. A lot of the celebrities we look up to, well, not me, I don't really look up to celebrities, but a lot of the people that we're used to seeing, growing up, all come from the US. And so oftentimes I find myself saying, we in the US, and I'm like, I'm not from there, and I'm glad not to be. I don't want to be the 51st state. But it doesn't matter because I'm going to be moving to Benin. I have to escape what is coming. I genuinely do not think anything good is coming in the next few years. I open the news and I keep hearing about AGI, artificial general intelligence, and how crazy it is. And, I hear about alien invasions, and I'm just like, 10 years ago, I couldn't have imagined all this stuff being just part of regular conversation, part of the mainstream news, the fake news. Yes. And I'm just, I don't know. I'm burnt out. And I just haven't really met people in real life that can relate. People still have like long-term career plans, and I'm just like, I don't even know if we have that much time left on earth. And I'm saying that from like a biblical perspective. So even those who don't believe in the Bible can see that there's something happening right now. And I don't know. I don't think it's worldwide for some reason. Because when I look at like certain things that are advertised in North America, right? Like the World Economic Forum saying that in 2030 you will own nothing and be happy, or the world going towards, a digital footprint. I just don't understand how they can do that in Africa. Well, in all of Africa, I should say. I just don't get it, or how they can apply this uniformly. I understand that for some people, they think, New World Order, world, everybody has to be in the exact same predicament, but there's something about going back home, and there's a safety in that for me, right? And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I gotta leave Canada.